It was another beautiful day on the island of Sodor. Everyone was working on the western part at Knapford Station, pushing and shunting trucks to Gordon, Edward, James, and the little blue guy over there. You know, him. The first two engines usually go through the tunnel where Henry was shut up. He was the only engine not enjoying the beautiful day. Edward whistled, "Beep beep, hello." Well, Henry wasn't feeling very good. Of course, he was stuck in the tunnel, and he really wanted to come out and pull and push trains again. Gordon, on the other hand, he was very pompous, and when he rushed through the tunnel, he would say this: "Boop boop, serves you right, ha." And he would rush through. Poor Henry. He was tired of Gordon, but he really wanted to show him what he could do. Now, Gordon, he was very proud of being the only engine strong enough to pull the big express. Lots of passengers paid good money to use this fast service, including the fat director who had punished Henry. Well, of course he didn't pay because it was his railway. Gordon was seeing how fast he could go. He would pull the express so proudly as he would rush through stations and through other tunnels. But now, the one and only Henry's tunnel was coming up. In a minute, he thought, I shall rush through Henry's tunnel and whistle at him. But then he heard a loud noise, and then he started to brake. "Oh dear, what's happening?" he cried, as he came to a stop just outside Henry's tunnel. Oh dear, he cried. "Just where Henry is too," he moaned. "I was going so well. What happened? I feel so weak." Then he heard some giggling coming from the tunnel. Hee 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 hee. That was the most fun Henry had seen in a while. The driver had checked him. "Your safety valve burst, Gordon," he said. "You can't pull the train anymore." "Oh," moaned Gordon. "We were going so nicely too." With the remaining steam he had left, he puffed his way on the points and came back around and reversed onto the siding. As soon as Gordon was there, he made a face at Henry. "Stop it," he moaned. The yard manager was telephoned and was told to get another engine at once. So, the yard manager went to find another engine. The blue tender engine, commonly known as Edward. She told Edward that she had to go to Henry's tunnel and bail Gordon out. So Edward went as soon as possible. "Beep, beep," he whistled as he left the station yard. Edward soon arrived at the scene. "Oh no, him," groaned Gordon. "He can't pull the train. The coaches are too heavy for him." Edward ignored him and coupled up to the coaches. He pulled and pulled and pulled and puffed, but then he just couldn't do it. The coaches were too heavy for him. "I told you so," said Gordon huffily. "Why don't let Henry try?" "That's an idea," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Henry, would you like to come out and pull this train?" "Oh, yes, please," cried Henry. He was delighted. "I'll have you ready in a minute." Well, within a few minutes, Henry was out and the wall was broken down. "You'd better go to somewhere and get your steam up," said the Topham Hatt, and off Henry went. He went to the yard and got on the turntable. He spun around and went back to the express. Henry came back and coupled up in front of Edward. Now they were all ready. Sir Topham Hatt signalled and got into the coaches, and the guard whistled, and then they were off. The coaches and the passengers all cheered and waved out the window. "Hooray!" they cried. "You've done it! You've done it!" The two engines were very proud, and they didn't stop until they arrived at the station at the end of the line. The passengers all got out and said thank you, and Sir Topham Hatt stepped out and said, "Would you like a new coat of paint, Henry?" He said. "Green would do you nice." "Oh, yes, please," said Henry, and he was so excited he blew off some steam. Shh! He blew so much that the Topham hat blew off and rolled into a field where a bunch of starving animals ate it for their tea. Then, at the end of the day, Edward and Henry came back and rescued their friend Gordon out of that lonely siding where he had been all day. They took him back home to the sheds, where all of them slept soundly for the night. Edward, Henry, and Gordon were all friends again.